everyone, welcome to Krishna's online lectures. In this lesson of engineering mechanics, I am going to discuss about concepts of trusses and frames. So let's start the lesson. So here I will start with the introduction of trusses and frames. So trusses and frames are generally known as framed structure, and this frame structure is considered as the assembly of number of bars or rods which are joined together by different joining methods. So here first I'll talk about the bars or rods. So bars or rods are known as the member of the frame structure which are used in the assembly of the trusses or assembly of the frame structure. So bars and rods are considered as the member which are slender in form. It means the cross-sectional dimension of this member is small compared to its length. So bar or rods we generally consider like this. So this particular dimension is the cross-sectional dimension of the bar, and here this dimension is quite small compared to the length of the bar. So this is the basic description of bar. So here members we consider a long member which is having very small cross-sectional area compared to length. So we will use bars or rods in assembly to form the structure that is called frame structure, and these bars and rods are joined by different joining method, and here these bars and rods are joined end to end. So every end of the bar or rods are joined together, and these members are joined with the help of different joining methods like riveting, welding, with the help of nuts and bolts, etc. So with the help of these joining methods we join these number of bars or rods and we will form a frame structure that is called trusses and frame. So trusses and frames generally used to resist deformation against external loading. So in the form of application, I will explain here better. So if we talk about application or example of the trusses and frames, so roofs are the best example of trusses and frame. If you have seen number of buildings, different types of buildings, normal buildings, residential buildings, buildings of the railway platform, industrial buildings, workshops, etc. So every building have roofs, and if you have seen roofs, so roofs are subjected to number of loads, and that loads or number of loads are main cause of deformation. So if we want to resist deformation, we should have a framed structure which resists that deformation. So in short, we can say trusses and frame are the frame structure, which is the assembly of different or number of bars and rods which are joined together by different joining method, and it resists deformation against external load. Now here one more point is written here about the bars. So bar is called the member of the frame structure, and the cross-sectional dimension of the bar is smaller or quite smaller compared to the length, and it generally used in the form of angle section, or it can be used in the form of T sections, I section, etc. And bars are also known as two force member or two-way force member. Why it is called two force member? So because every frame structure is subjected to external loading, so that external loading we consider in the form of tensile load or compressive load. Now why it is called two force member? So either we will consider tensile load or we will consider compressive load. And if we talk about trusses and frames, so bars and rods are joined in this manner. Here we are considering bar 1 or bar 2. So two ends of the bars are joined with the help of different joining methods like riveting, welding, etc. So if we talk about this bar, this is called two force member. So if it is subject to tensile load, so here we are considering two ends. This is one end and this is another end. So here on both end we will consider loading. If we are considering loading like this, if the tensile loading we are considering on the end, and the loading is in the form of tension from the end of the bar. So this particular loading is called the tensile loading on the bar, and this loading should be at the both end of the bar. That is why it is called two-way force member. And here, if the load is compressing the joint, here load we are considering in the form of tensile load from the end of the bar. It is stretching the end. So it is called the tensile loading on the member or on the bar. But if the load is compressing the end, so it is called the compressive loading. And here this loading should be in the form of pair. Means at each end we will consider load. That is why it is called two force member. The load we can consider either tensile load or the compressive load, but the load should act at both the end of the bar. That is why it is called two-way force member or two force member. So this is the basic description of trusses and frame. Now let's discuss different types of trusses and frame. So here I am going to discuss one by one about different types. So let's talk about the first type, that is called plain frame or plain trusses. So in plain frame or plain trusses, we consider number of members like bars or rods which are joined together and it form assembly. So all member of the frame or trusses should lie in a same plane, and forces which are acting along or which are acting on the bar, it should act along the same plane only. So if we are considering everything in the same plane, we are not changing the plane. For example, if all members are lying in x plane and the forces which we are going to consider over the bars or rods or each member are acting along the same plane only, so that is called the plane frame. Example we can take as roofs and the structure which are used in bridges, because here plane is not changing. We are considering all or complete structure in one plane only. So that is the perfect example of plane frame. Second type of frame, here we can say as space frame. So this is opposite to plane frame. Here conditions are changed. If we are considering a frame structure, so it should have number of bars. So it is the assembly of number of members. So all members are not lying in a same plane, or the forces which we are considering over the member, it does not lie in the same plane. So here both the conditions are opposite. In plane frame we are considering same plane, but in space frame number of members like bars and rods as well as the forces which is applicable on the member does not lie in the same plane. So we can consider two different planes here like x plane and y plane. So if we talk about examples of the space frame, so tripod is the perfect example because tripod has three legs. So here if three legs are considered as three members, so on three members which are lying in three different planes and the forces are also lying in the three different planes. So this is the example of space frame we can consider. Or we can take suspension tower. So suspension tower is a huge structure and it has number of members which are in different planes, as well as the forces we are considering on different members are also acting in different planes. So this is about space frame. Now, if we talk about another type of trusses and frames, so it is called statically determinant frame. So statically determinant frame is based on the condition of equilibrium or equation of static equilibrium. So here there are three conditions of static equilibrium, that is summation of fx equals to 0, summation of fy equals to 0 and summation of m equals to 0. So the summation of fx equals to 0 is representing the summation of all the forces which are acting in x direction or in x plane, or summation of fy equals to 0 are represented as the sum of all the forces which are acting in y direction, and some here summation of m equals to 0 is representing the summation of moment of the number of forces. If all three conditions we are considering, and here if we consider any frame structure which is having number of bars or rods and it is subjected to number of forces, and if we determine the forces which are acting on number of bars or rods with the help of these three equations, and here if we are able to determine all the forces with the help of three conditions of equilibrium or given conditions of equilibrium, so that particular frame structure is called statically determinate frame or statically determinate trusses. If these three equations are sufficient to determine the number of applicable forces, so that particular frame is called statically determinate frame. Now next type is statically indeterminate frame. So it is just opposite to statically determinate frame. If number of equations are not sufficient, number of equation of static equilibrium, that is summation of fx equals to 0, summation of fy equals to 0 and summation of moment equals to 0. If these equations are not sufficient to determine the applicable forces, and or we can also say these three equations are not sufficient for the force analysis of the trusses or frame, so that is called, that particular type of trusses or frames are called statically indeterminate frame. So here both the conditions are opposite. These two conditions are opposite. Now let's move toward another type of trusses. So here there are three more trusses I'm going to discuss, that is perfect truss, over rigid truss and collapsible truss. So these three types of trusses are based on one equation, and that equation is m equals to 2j minus 3, where m is known as, this m is known as number of members and j is known as number of joints. How? Here we have three diagrams which is related to perfect frame or perfect truss, over rigid frame and collapsible frame or truss. Now, so if we see this perfect frame structure, so you can see number of members. So these straight lines are known as the members. These straight line are known as the members. So here we are having how many number of members? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So here we have 7 number of members or bars. Now here each end of the member are joined with another member. So here we will use one type of joining method to join these members. So these joining ends are called joints, and that is represented by J. So here we have number of joints which are used to join number of members. So here how many members we have? That is in the form of straight bars or rods, 7 members. So here m equals to 7. And how many joints we have to join these number of rods? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here we have 5 joints. So these straight lines are represented as the members and these joining end are known as the joint. So here we have m equals to 7 and j equals to 5. Now how we can determine with the help of these number of members and with the help of number of joint as the truss. So if we talk about perfect truss, so perfect truss is based on this equation, m equals to 2j minus 3. If this equation is satisfied, where m is the number of members and j is the number of joints. So if we are considering this equation and this equation is satisfied, so that particular truss will be the perfect truss. So if we talk about this particular diagram, here we have 7 number of members and 5 number of joints. So if we use this equation, m equals to 2j minus 3. So how many number of members we have? We have 7 number of members, and this particular equation, so we have 5 joints. So in place of j we will put 5. So this equation is representing 7 equals to 7. So this equation is satisfied. Here LHS is equals to RHS. So this equation is satisfied. So this is called perfect truss. Now if we talk about another type of truss, that is over rigid truss. So this equation should satisfy. If M is greater than 2j minus 3, in that case, that particular truss will be over rigid truss. And if we talk about third type of truss, that is collapsible truss. So M should be less than 2j minus 3. So here, if this equation is satisfied, in that case, that truss will be collapsible truss. So perfect truss are generally used in different types of building to resist deformation against external loading. Here, over rigid truss is generally representing more number of member compared to required member, and collapsible truss is representing less number of member compared to required member. So perfect truss is the best truss we use to resist deformation against the external loading. So this diagram is representing over rigid frame or over rigid truss, and this diagram is representing collapsible frame or collapsible truss. In next lesson, I will discuss mathematical conditions of trusses and frames, so you will better understand the concept of perfect frame, over rigid frame and collapsible frame. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can rate, review and share this lesson with your friends and your known people. And if you want more lessons related to mechanical engineering, please subscribe the channel.